Picking the best adventure bike is almost like choosing the best thing to have for lunch. It's very subjective and it depends on a lot of factors. In this video, I'm going to explain why I think the Yamaha Ténéré 700 is the second best adventure bike on the market today. And I'll also reveal my favorite and the one I'm getting. Stick around. Hello and welcome. I'm Francois from adventurebiketroop.com, where we chat about bike riding, maintenance, travel tips and more. If you are new here, please consider subscribing, and for any links I mention in this video, you can check out the description below. When choosing an adventure bike, nothing beats test riding the bikes that you have on your shortlist. But in order to create a shortlist, it helps doing some research before. Now it's often difficult to find all the specs of all these bikes in one place, and for that reason I've compiled a list or a post with all the specs of the top 14 or the most popular 14 adventure bikes on the market today. Now if you find any bikes missing from this list, please comment below and I'll update the post in future. Now in this video I'm going to chat about how I use the process of elimination to get to my favorite adventure bike for overlanding, long distance touring, dirt roads and tar. Let's start with price. If you're going to take your bike off-road, you're going to modify the bike to suit your needs, you're going to add luggage, you're going to drop the bike in the dirt, in the sand. I feel you don't want a bike that is too expensive. And for that reason, I'm going to eliminate all the bikes above $20,000. Now, it's an arbitrary point. There are some expensive bikes just below $20,000, but we have to start somewhere. So let's eliminate the Ducati Multistrada Enduro, the Triumph Tiger 1200 XCA, and the BMW R1200 GS Adventure. Now, I know that's the quintessential adventure bike, but it's becoming super expensive, and the price difference between the GS Adventure and the KTM 1290 Super Adventure R, like direct competitors, are so big these days. And then you still have to add the premium package to get cruise control and on the BMW. So it becomes very expensive. So let's remove those three and move on to the next criteria. Ground clearance. If you're going to venture off-road, you're going to hit a rock at some stage. And I've seen what happens if you hit a rock and you damage your oil pump and it's just oil everywhere. You've got to have to phone a tow truck and your adventure is over. So ground clearance helps. Obviously, you can fit skid plates, but if you get snagged on a rock, you can crash. And remember, you're going to load up this bike, so that's going to lower the bike even further. So if you start with a low bike, you're going to end up scraping every second rock you hit. So let's remove any bike with a ground clearance less than about, let's say, 200 millimeters. So that'll be the Suzuki 1050 XT and the Suzuki 650 XT. Some bikes didn't show their ground clearance on the site, so they are safe for now. It's sort of an immunity from our elimination process. Next, that is tied to the previous reason, is suspension travel. We want a bike with long travel suspension. We're going to add a lot of weight, and with the extra weight over large bumps at high speed in the dirt, it's going to help to have long travel suspension. We don't want a road biased bike with not a lot of suspension travel. So again, we're going to take an arbitrary point. Let's say again about 20 centimeters to 200 millimeters of suspension travel. Anything below that, we're going to eliminate. So that is the Triumph Tiger 900, the standard one. The Yamaha XT1200Z Super Ténéré, not a lot of suspension travel for such a big bike. And then the Triumph Tiger 1200 XR, the more off-road biased Tiger. Okay, so that leaves us with about, I think, 7 bikes on our list. Next, and I think this is one that a lot of you are going to say we should have used this earlier, because then we could have eliminated 80% of this list. And this is a very important consideration when picking an adventure bike or a bike that you're going to take long distance, off-road, with your luggage, possibly a passenger, and that is the weight. Weight really removes a lot of the comfort, the fun, the confidence that you have in tricky situations. And I always prefer the lightest bike possible. And I've seen what it does to big men. I've seen big men cry in the sand on a heavy adventure bike. So let's remove any bike above 500 pounds. That's a lot of weight for an adventure bike. So that will remove the BMW F850 GS Adventure, quite a heavy bike, and then the KTM 1290 Super Adventure R. It's actually it's actually lighter than the BMW with a much bigger engine, a lot more power. That's actually a disgrace for the BMW to be that heavy compared to the KTM 1290 Adventure. But the KTM's a heavy bike, so we're going to remove this. And then the Honda CRF 1100L, the Africa Twin, the Adventure Sports model, the ES. That one is also, again, about 500 pounds, quite a bit heavier because of all those electronics. So we're going to remove that one. And then the standard Africa Twin just made it with 2 pounds below the 500 pound mark. So let's leave it on the list for now. So now we're left with 4 bikes. That's the Honda Africa Twin, the standard model, the Triumph Tiger 900 Rally Pro, KTM 790 Adventure R, and then the Yamaha XT700 Ténéré, or the T7, Ténéré 700. I never know which order you have to say that. So now we've got a nice list of adventure bikes. They are powerful enough. They are off-road biased, long travel suspension, not that heavy. So I think if you just look at this list of 4 bikes, I would imagine that the best bike would be in that list of 4 bikes. Now we have to pick a winner. So I'm going to pick a very personal or subjective criteria to eliminate 3 of these bikes very quickly from this list, and that is electronics. I hate electronics for the simple reason that if something fails, it's going to be difficult to find out what it was. And there is more to go wrong. So if you have rider modes, you've got traction control, you've got cruise control, there's electronic suspension, any electronics, if it gets wet, if you get mud into it, if it gets old, if I always think to myself, 20 years from now, with all those electronics, if something fails, will a bush mechanic somewhere in Africa be able to figure out what's wrong with the bike? So if we remove the bikes with the most electronics, well, there's one of these bikes that almost has no electronics. It's got fuel injection and it's got ABS, and that's the Ténéré 700. So we're going to remove the Honda Africa Twin with all its rider modes and traction control, cruise control, the Triumph Tiger Rally Pro, and the KTM 790 Adventure R with all those settable, you can dial in the traction control exactly. So if we remove those bikes, we are left with a clear winner, the Ténéré 700, and it's also the second cheapest bike on our list at $999,000. So that really makes this my top pick from this list. Now at the beginning of the video, I mentioned that the Ténéré 700 is my second favorite adventure bike. What if you can get an adventure bike that is bulletproof reliable, 104 pounds lighter than the Ténéré, 40% more suspension travel, that's quite a lot, and then 90% or 90 millimeters more ground clearance. So 9 millimeters more ground clearance, standard, without any modifications, but at a quarter of the price. Well, the Honda XR650L, if you buy it new, it's $6,999, so that's 30% cheaper than the Ténéré. But if you pick a bike 5 or 6 years old in good condition, low mileage, you can pick it up for a quarter or a third of the price of the Ténéré. And this is just, I think, the ideal adventure bike. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's slow. Yes, the wind is going to blow you off the bike. But for real adventure travel in the dirt, in the deepest, darkest corners in the middle of nowhere, this is the bike that I would want to have with me. And very soon I'll pick up mine and we'll feature it here on the channel. Thanks for joining. Please go and check out my post at adventurebiketroop.com/advbikes and let me know which other bikes I've left out from that list and which bike you would just pick as your favorite. Cheers.